Yo, Shelf Squad, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're looking at an early Chien-Pao EX deck here. We're going to do a deck profile video talking about this Chien-Pao EX deck, how it plays, how it operates, and all the little strategies that you got going on within this deck. Chien-Pao EX is coming out with Paldea Evolved, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty good new archetype in our format. If y'all are going to go on to enjoy the video here on the channel, make sure to leave a like on the video and make sure to click that subscribe button down below so you never miss an upload here on the Shovel Squad. And check out all of our sponsors down below too. And all that good stuff. And let's check out the Chien-Pao list. So here's the Chien-Pao list we got once again. I did get this list from Japan, and Chien-Pao's doing okay in Japan right now. It's actually performing decently well over in Japan, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity to kind of break down at the deck and talk about it, and talk about some tech cards, cards you can play, and really what just overall is going on in the deck. The main attacker, of course, is that Chien-Pao EX here. Now, this card is going to be really strong. It's got 220 HP, so it is a little bit of a glass card. However, it does have two really good traits. It's got a great ability and a very strong attack. Its ability, Shivery Chill, allows you to search your deck for 2 water energy if this card is in the active spot. So if Chien-Pao's in the active, you get a search deck for 2 waters. Immediately, this ability is the exact same thing as Capacious Bucket, which did rotate out of the format, and Chien-Pao comes in to kind of save the day with that ability. So Chien-Pao right off the bat has a really strong ability in this deck. And then we have the attack Hailblade, which for 2 waters allows you to do 60 times, and you may discard any amount of water energy from your Pokemon, and it does 60 damage for each energy discarded in this way. Now, this attack is very reminiscent of Raichu V. In fact, it is the exact same attack as Raichu V, except it's on a water Pokemon. Now, you're probably like, okay, that ability's nice, the attack is great, well, how are you going to get the energy into play? Well, that is where Baxcalibur comes into the fray. Now, Baxcalibur is a really good Stage 2 Pokemon with the Rain Dance ability, essentially, with the ability Super Cold, where you can, as often as you like, during your turn, attach a basic water energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So you can use Baxcalibur to power up your Chien-Pao and build up energy that way. So it's a really good way to get energy into play with Baxcalibur. It allows you to easily accelerate energy onto your Chien-Pao, and being able to accelerate energy as often as you like is really, really, really powerful. And these two combine really well together, of course, being able to use Chien-Pao EX with its ability to get energy in your hand. The list here, as we see, does play 3 switching cards. We got 2 switch and an escape rope, which allow you to switch between Chien-Pao. So if you have like 2 Chien-Pao in play, you can easily pivot between the 2 and get 4 water energy out of your deck, which is pretty good. Being able to snag 4 water energy super easily is really, really nice. There is another cool card in the deck that does complement this strategy, and that is the Skaters Park Stadium. Now, a lot of the Chien-Pao lists do play the Skaters Park in the deck. It allows you to basically, whenever either player's active Pokemon retreats, put any basic energy that would be discarded into their hand instead of the discard pile. Now, the beautiful part about Skaters Park is how well it synergizes with Chien-Pao. As you can see, Chien-Pao has a 2 retreat cost. So if you put 2 water energy on a Chien-Pao with its ability, with a Skater Park in play, you can retreat Chien-Pao into another Chien-Pao, and due to Skater Park's effect, the 2 energy that would be on it go back into your hand, and then you go into another Chien-Pao, and then you grab 2 more energy out of your deck, effectively giving you 4 energy in a single turn, and then you can try to draw energy through other supporters. Now, this list does play 4 Irida, which is one of the best supporters in the deck, allowing you to get a water Pokemon and an item card. Irida is really, really good in here to find your rare candy Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur is really strong. The detriment is that, of course, it is a Stage 2 Pokemon, meaning that you have to play rare candy, but Irida is so good. Irida literally just gets you rare candy Baxcalibur, and that is one of the things that makes this engine so good, is being able to guarantee rare candy Baxcalibur with Irida. Really, really strong stuff, and this deck does play 4. Most Baxcalibur Chien-Pao lists will always play 4 Irida, because it is literally the best card in the deck. Alongside the 4 Irida, we do play the Lumineon V in the deck, which can also be searched out. You can also use to search out the Irida. The deck also plays Radiant Greninja as a draw engine. Of course, conceal cards, letting you discard a water energy from your hand to draw 2 cards. We'll get into why discarding water energy isn't usually that big of a deal very soon, but Greninja does also draw you cards. Greninja can also attack in this deck. Baxcalibur isn't just limited to Chien-Pao. You can use it with any Pokemon, and all your water Pokemon can attack with Baxcalibur's ability Super Cold, so you can power up your Chien-Pao, you can power up Greninja, you can even power up Lumineon if you have to, and that can make or break a scenario that you're in. Now, there is another really cool attacker in this deck, and that is going to be the Crown Zenith Kyogre. Now, this card is not very good. I don't think it saw any play at all since its release. However, it is now time for this card to see play. A lot of the Chien-Pao lists in Japan are playing a couple copy, or at least one copy of Kyogre. Most lists do play the Kyogre. So what makes it so good is its main attack, Dynamic Wave. Now, it does require 4 water energy, but again, once you get 4 water out of your deck, it should be easy to keep getting energy back into play. And of course, we'll get into why getting energy back into play isn't a problem with this deck in a second, but 4 energy allows you to do 180 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So of course, if your opponent does not have a Manaphy in play, you can punish them for not playing down a Manaphy, knock out a Lumineon, or just hit something on the bench. The big thing is the effect that allows, what its effect does. It puts 3 energy back into your hand. So while it requires 4 energy, you can put 3 of them back into your hand, meaning that when Kyogre goes down, you can just reattach the energy because they will be back in your hand with Baxcalibur. If you time Kyogre right, like if you use it at the right moment, this can be very, very powerful because if you know you're not going to get Ionoed or like Rock Sand or whatever, then this attack could be pretty good and allow you to time your energy in your hand. And then, of course, your Kyogre goes down. You got 3 energy in your hand for your next Chien-Pao EX to take another big one-hit KO. And again, being able to snipe off Lumineon is good. Say, like, you're playing against Lugia. Lugia does play double Lumineon. So against Lugia, this can be a really good way just to snipe off a Lumineon, as Lugia doesn't play Manaphy anymore. And you can also use this against other decks that play Lumineon, or if something is just very heavily damaged, you can finish it off later on down the road, and just punish the opponent for not playing a Manaphy is what makes this Kyogre so good. Now, the other attacker in the deck is going to be the 1/1 Palkia VSTAR. Palkia VSTAR, of course, does have the attack Subspace Well that does 60 plus 20 more damage for each bench Pokemon, and this deck will fill its bench up. A lot of the time, your bench wants to have, you want to have at least 2 Baxcaliburs in play. You're probably going to have a Chien-Pao. Maybe you have a Lumineon. You probably will have Radiant Greninja, so your bench will always be full with this deck, and this allows you to pop off with Palkia VSTAR, and Palkia VSTAR can do 260 damage with the full bench. Now, it also has a very strong V-Star power where you can use Star Portal and attach up to 3 water energy from your discard pile to your water Pokemon in any way you like. Palkia's V-Star power is really good with Chien-Pao. Instead of using a Baxcalibur to get energy back into play with maybe the other retrieval card in the deck we'll talk about in a sec, you can use Palkia to get 3 energy back into play too onto your Chien-Pao out of nowhere. It's a really cool like comeback type card, and I think Palkia V-Star could be a good one of to play in these Chien-Pao lists because it really does seem strong. And not only is it a really strong attacker, but it also does have a very good ability with Chien-Pao. Now, there is a way to get energy back in the deck, and that is going to be the brand new Superior Energy Retrieval. Now, this card is a reprint from Plasma Freeze. This card came out in Plasma Freeze all the way back in 2013, and it is now coming back in our next set here with Paldea Evolved, and it is a very good card with Baxcalibur. You can discard 2 cards from your hand, and then you can put 4 basic energy from your discard pile into your hand. So, basically, you have 4 energy in the discard pile, right, from a big knockout you took with Chien-Pao. Well, you can use Superior Energy Retrieval and get 4 of those back into play. And if you have 2 in the deck, you can Chien-Pao for 2 more, and that's 6 energy into play just like that. Superior Energy Retrieval is so good in the deck. It is quite literally the best card that Baxcalibur could have been released with because it allows you to get the energy back, and it is so good to recover energy to make sure you're constantly chaining Chien-Pao's attack over and over again, because otherwise you probably wouldn't have enough energy to combo. I mean, yes, there's energy retrieval, but superior retrieval is just 10 times better. Now, being able to discard 2 cards from hand does synergize really well with the Bibarel, so I like playing the Bibarel in the Baxcalibur deck because Bibarel's ability lets you draw up to 5 into your hand, and when you're playing superior energy retrieval and discarding 2 cards from your hand, I mean, all the energy you put back are going to go back into play, so your hand is technically going to lose 2 cards in the process of doing that, no matter what. You can draw even more cards with Bibarel, and that's why the Superior Energy Retrieval is so good in this deck in combination with Bibarel. It is one of the best things about the deck. And the deck is very straightforward in terms of what it plays. Some lists will play the Battle VIP, some lists don't. This list does, mainly because you do play 4 Irida. The nice thing about Irida is Irida does allow you to get Battle VIP. You can use Irida to get 3 Pokemon into play in a single turn, which is really good because you do need to set up your board with this deck. You know, you want to get a couple Chien-Paos in play. You definitely want to get a couple Baxcaliburs down as soon as possible. You want to make sure you have 2 Baxcaliburs in play because if one gets boss KO'd, you want to make sure there's at least a second one in play, which is why you're going to want to have 2 of them, and that's where, Battle VIP is good. And of course, you got the candies, the switches. A Super Rod is also in here to allow you to recover Pokemon and energy. And the big one is going to be the Big Charm card. So there's a new tool card that gives your basic Pokemon plus 50 HP. So You put this on your Chien-Pao, and it goes from having 220 HP all the way up to 270 HP. And because this Pokemon doesn't really need a damage modification due to its high damage output ceiling, you don't need to play like Choice Belt or anything. And this Charm card will give Chien-Pao 270 HP, which will allow it to be a bit more bulkier. And sometimes if the opponent can't one-hit KO your Chien-Pao, it is going to be really hard to win a game. So that's what makes this Tool card Chien-Pao combo so good. Now, Chien-Pao does have room for a lot of techs. One of the beautiful things about playing a water deck right now is there are a ton of Pokemon you can choose from to put in your deck. So here are some water Pokemon that you can put in this deck to improve it and make it a little bit better if you want to maybe improve a certain matchup or have a cool tech card for a specific situation. Let's take a look at some of the water Pokemon that Chien-Pao plays. The first one is going to be the Alolan Vulpix VSTAR. This is another really common one that I have seen. Vulpix does have the attack Snow Mirage. That does 160 damage, and it cannot be damaged by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon with an ability. So Vulpix allows you to basically wall off Gardevoir EX. This is the main reason why Vulpix is good in the format, is because it's super good against Gardevoir EX. Some Gardevoir decks have no way to damage the Vulpix literally at all. They have quite literally no way to do anything against Vulpix, and that's why Vulpix is so good in Chien-Pao. Now, it's also pretty good in some other situations. Being able to wall off abilities is good in general. It's also decent in the mirror match. As you can see, this list only plays the one of Kyogre. That's the only way to actually attack the Vulpix. And if you're playing against a Chien-Pao list without Kyogre, a lot of the time the Chien-Pao list will struggle to attack you. So not only is it good for mirror, but it can also be really good against other Gardevoir EX decks. Some Gardevoir lists will play the new Drifloon, so you have to be very mindful of that. But for the most part, Vulpix is a great option. You also get Silvery Snow Star, which does do 70 damage. Feature your opponent's VM play. This will be good against Mew and sometimes Arceus decks. So Vulpix V-Star can be a really strong option to play in your Chien-Pao deck. The other cool option is to maybe improve your Lost Box matchup, and that is the Empoleon V. Now, Lost Box can be tricky. We do play the Radiant Greninja, and even the Kyogre are both pretty good options, and I think the Big Charm Tool card is also really good in this deck. However, Empoleon V could also be the next best option to try to beat Lost Box. You can just play a couple Empoleon V in your deck, and if you're playing against Lost Box, you can use his ability Emporize when it's in the active spot. Comfey's ability will not work, so they can't do Flower Select, and they're unable to play the game, and you obviously can build up Empoleon easily with Baxcalibur. So Empoleon V could be a great way to try to deal with Lost Box. So I do think this deck is fine against Lost Box, because you do have the Iono, and even Lumineon isn't bad. You can use Lumineon, take it off the board, and KO a Cramorant, and you have Iono for hand disruption. You also have Radiant Greninja, where if Lost Box does not bench a Manaphy, you can just take out 2 Comfey with Greninja. So Empoleon is optional if you want to improve the Lost Box matchup a little bit more. You'd have to play at least 2 or 3 Empoleon because they do have Escape Rope. I think that Empoleon isn't as needed because I really do think you have enough power with the Iono in the deck. And another final option is going to be the Articuno Paralyzed. Now, this card is honestly really strong in the meta with Wild Freeze doing 70 damage, and then it does 50 to itself. However, it immediately paralyzes your opponent's active. And there's a lot of decks out there that do not play any Switch whatsoever. Or even if they do play Switch, they play like 1 or 2 in the deck. And good luck finding a Switch when you go Articuno. You can also use Articuno Iono in the late game. Maybe say you Iono your opponent to like 2 cards. You can also stick paralysis on them. You know, giving your opponent a 2-card hand and paralyzing them is pretty tough to deal with, especially if they have like 1 switch out in the deck altogether. So Articuno is another really cool option. The only downside is you don't get a lot of value out of it. A lot of the time, it only can do 140 damage. Sometimes you're not going to play Emergency Jelly. You could play Jelly with Articuno. If you wanted to play Articuno in Baxcalibur, you could play the Emergency Jelly, but it does seem like a cool option. It can help against walls. It could be good against Lugia that doesn't play Therapeutic Energy. So if you're against a Lugia deck with no way to stop paralysis, Articuno could be pretty good for that matchup too. And again, Articuno Iono doesn't seem like a terrible combo either in the format, kind of as like a comeback card, which could be pretty helpful in some matchups. So yeah, looking at this list here, I think this list is a pretty good starting base for building a Chien-Pao deck. I think the only changes to make is to maybe just go down to 3 Battle VIP or even 2 Battle VIP and just playing a 3rd Iono. I think if I were to make any change about this list I'm looking at, I would probably go down to 3 Battle VIP and I would play a 3rd copy of Iono. You can also play Research in the deck if you want to have the ability to have extra draw, so a Research could be good. But yeah, I think the most cuttable card in the deck is easily the Battle VIP pass for another Iono. I think this deck maybe should play 3 Iono over 2, but Iono is just really good in the deck. But Irida does also do really good things with Superior Energy Retrieval, so it's not like you're going to be using Iono every single turn. It's just nice to have the extra Iono. So a third Iono would maybe be the only thing I would consider putting in this deck. But I really like this Chien-Pao list, and I think it is a great starting point for building Chien-Pao. And I hope you all enjoyed today's video here on the Chien-Pao deck profile. Hope you all got a good gist of what this deck is going to look like. Chien-Pao EX is looking to be a great new deck in the new format, and I am excited to play it because I think this card does have potential as a cool new archetype. We'll have to see how good it's going to be, and can it compete with the likes of Gardevoir and Lost Box. We're going to find out when Paldea Evolved drops, and of course with NEIC. If y'all enjoyed the video here on the Shuffle Squad, make sure to leave a like on the video, and of course, if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button down below. Make sure to check out all of our sponsors down below too, and if you do happen to get anything at any of our sponsors down below, you can use the discount codes that we have provided with each sponsor. And that'll be it for me. Hope you all enjoyed today's video on the Shuffle Squad, and I'll catch y'all on another video. Bye-bye.
The Shuffle Squad is proudly sponsored by Atlas Collectibles, the best place to buy any trading card game product online. Visit atlastcg.com, and at the checkout screen, make sure to use code TSS12 to save an unbeatable 12% off your entire order. Atlas Collectibles will ship your product anywhere in the world, so make sure you're taking advantage of the 12% savings with TSS12. And if Pokemon is not your thing, don't worry. Go to atlastcg.com and see all the other amazing trading card game products they have there to offer.
The Shuffle Squad is partnered with PTCGO Store to provide our community with the best access to Pokemon TCG codes. They have codes available 24/7, instant email delivery, and you can save 5% off by using code TSS5. If you're a YouTube member or Patreon supporter, you'll have access to a special code that gets you 10% off. So what are you waiting for? Use code TSS5 today and save 5% on your next order of codes on any codes available at ptcgostore.com.
Are you trying to be the best like no one ever was? Now is your time. Head on over to metafy.gg and search out all our amazing Pokemon TCG coaches, where you can book all sorts of training plans ranging from deck help to full season sessions with your favorite coach. What a great way to up your game. Check out metafy.gg in the description below and take your game to the next level. Challenge yourself against trainers from around the world to compete for the biggest online prizing yet.
Are you ready for an unbelievable tournament unlike anything else you've ever seen before? The Shuffle Squad is proud to announce our newest tournament series, the Late Night Event, with an amazing grand prize that's bound to have you excited.
Players can compete via play.limitless.tcg.com's online tournament platform every Tuesday to get a chance to earn weekly prizes. And every week, your placement in the tournament is tallied by points based on your best finishes to earn your rank for the Late Night Invitational event.
The series will be conducted starting February 7th of 2023 and carry all the way through to the Invitational on July 9th of 2023, where the top players will be rewarded the grand prizing.
And the grand prize is a signed jersey and photo op with the entire Shuffle Squad, as well as a fully paid trip to the Pokemon World Championships in Yokohama, Japan. This includes hotel and airfare, whether you're a player or a spectator.
Don't forget to check out all the live coverage on our YouTube and Twitch channel of the top cuts of these events for every week. And subscribe so you can get notified where to watch the Late Night Events Invitational, brought to you by the Shuffle Squad. Now get out there and start winning. We'll see you in Japan.